Hi yogis, my name is Sarah and today we're going to go through a twisted detox vinyasa flow. So many of the poses today will be doing just that, a lot of spinal twisting, which can help aid in our circulation and aid in our digestion and just overall give like a nice opening to the body and to the shoulders. So as always, all of the asanas that I prompt you with today are merely suggestions. Please listen into your body, take rests when you need to. I'll be offering a few modifications as we go along, but just take this time to listen in. And with that, we'll get started just in an easy seat, whatever feels good for you. On your mat, we'll take just a few moments here to check in with our breath and let go of the day so far. You're here, you made it to your mat. Take an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your nose. If you haven't already, maybe close the eyes or bring a soft gaze somewhere out in front of you. Your hands can be face up in your lap or on your knees, or palms down. Palms up, think of it as you're inviting more energy into your body. Palms down gives you a bit more grounding. So take which variation is calling you today. Let's take another inhale here through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. If you can and if it works for you today, try to continue this breath solely through the nose for the duration of our practice. On your next inhale, lift your arms up to the sky and we'll gently twist to the left. Right hand on your left knee, left hand back behind you. You can keep your eyes closed and just feel into the body here, or you can gently look over your left shoulder. Release, come back to center. Arms lift overhead. Let's take it to the other side. Left hand on top of right knee, right hand floats behind you. You can look gently over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And from here, we'll take a little hip opener. So bring your soles of your feet to the mat out in front of you. Now you can prop your hands back behind you or help your right ankle to the top of your left knee. We're going to take a figure 4 position here, but seated. So your right ankle's on the top of your left thigh. Right toes pointed back towards you. Hands again can be back behind you, and that left foot can be as close or as far away from your body as what feels good to you today. Wherever you can start to feel a nice stretch through that right hip is a good place to be. Try to keep a long, straight spine here. Really push your chest forward and breathe. Great, release. Go ahead and stretch both legs out in front of you. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, just simple forward fold here. You can have a nice bend in your knees. Just slowly starting to release through the hamstrings. Great, release. Bring the soles of your feet back down. We'll come to the figure four on the other side. So this time your left ankle crosses on the top of your right thigh. Again, move that right foot as close to your body for a more intense stretch or further away, depending on your level of hip flexibility today and what feels right on this side. Inhale, tall spine, chest lifts. And exhale, really relax through that left hip. Maybe rock a bit side to side. Just start to loosen it up. Great, go ahead and release. You can cross at the ankles and come forward. We'll meet in tabletop pose. And from tabletop pose, you want to make sure your hips are stacked over your knees and start to walk your hands out in front of you, and we'll bring our chest and forehead down to puppy pose. So again, your hips are stacked directly over your knees still. Arms reached out in front of you. If you're very flexible here, your chin and your chest can also come down to the mat. From here, we'll move into thread the needle, so look forward just a bit. Lift up just enough to sneak your right arm underneath your left. Left arm can stay outstretched or it can come alongside your face. Your right hand is palm up. Your right ear and shoulder on the mat. Now to check in with our core here, which will be important for the rest of our poses today, we're going to maybe start to ground down through our right knee and start to hover the left leg off the ground. As little or as far out as you would like today. You can also keep the knee down. If your leg was raised, bring it back down. Bring your left arm back out in front of you if it was not already. And we'll move to the other side. So go ahead and sneak your left arm this time underneath your right. Palm face up. Your right hand can come next to your face for balance. And if you did so on the other side and would like to try with the leg lift, ground down into your left knee and slowly start to hover your right leg off the mat. Wobbling is welcome here. Great, release. Walk your right hand back out in front of you as well as your left. Come back down into puppy for just a moment. And inhale, lift up to tabletop. Tuck the back toes and we'll lift up and back into our first downward facing dog. Now the first down dog of the day, maybe you pedal the feet. Stretching out through the calves, stretching out through the hip. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, keep the hips square, and exhale, step it through between your hands. Lower the back knee, and we'll come up into low lunge, arms lift. Right knee stacking over right ankle. Bring your hands down to heart center, and we'll move into a prayer twist from here. Your left elbow is going to hook to the outside of your right knee, and you can gently start to look back over your right shoulder. We're aiming for our palms to eventually be near the center of our chest in these prayer twists someday. Great. Release the hands back down to the mat. Go ahead and start to shift the hips back into half splits. So your hip will be stacked over your left knee. Start to straighten through the right leg. Flex the right toes back towards you as you inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest, and exhale, fold over that right leg. And start to walk the hands back forward. Tuck the back toes, pop that back knee up off the mat, and then we're going to come forward into flamingo at the top of the mat. So your left leg will lift, your knees will come together, your left foot pulling in toward your quad here. And release the left foot down so both feet are together at the top of the mat in forward fold. And we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up while bending the knees. We're going to sit back into our chair pose. So hips back, you should be able to look down and see your toes. If you can't, shift the hips back just a bit more. Arms out in front of you, or if that creates tension in your shoulder and neck, you can always have your hands at heart center. Great. Forward fold. Now we're going to step our right foot back this time, all the way, and lower the back knee, and we're come up into our low lunge on this side. Arms lift, left knee stacked over the left ankle. Bring your hands down to heart center, and we'll move into our prayer twist on this side. Right elbow up and over onto the top of your left leg. Start to gently look over your left shoulder. Breathe here. Awesome. Release the hands back down. We'll shift back into our half splits on this side. Start to shift the hips back over that left and over the left leg. Inhale, straight spine, and exhale, fold. Start to walk your hands forward again. And this time we'll come up again to flamingo at the top of the mat. Lift the right leg. Bring the right foot in towards your glutes. And step it to meet the left at the top of the mat. We'll come up again into our chair. Set the hips back, knees together. Bring your hands to heart center, and we'll move into a twist from here. So again, your left elbow up and over and hooks onto your right knee. Start to look over your right shoulder. Take a moment to look down at your knees. They should be in line with one another. If one of them popped forward, bring it back to meet up with the other. Inhale back to center, and we'll move straight to the other side. Right elbow to left knee. Look over your left shoulder. Great. Release. Go ahead and straighten through the legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or hands to thighs. And exhale, release. Inhale, step back into your plank pose. And exhale, we'll go through a vinyasa from here. You can lower halfway or knees down and all the way, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. Toes pushed into the mat. Exhale, release. Up and back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg. Go ahead and bend through the knee and open up your hip. Take a few ankle circles here, maybe. Straighten through the hip and exhale, bring it forward between your hands. We'll come up into high lunge this time, back leg lifted. From here, we'll open our arms up into a twist. Right hand back, left hand forward. From here, we're going to move into warrior two. So this is a big sweeping movement. We want to sweep the left hand back, right hand forward as we spin the back foot down and bend into that right leg. Warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow to the top of the right thigh. Start to spin your left arm all the way forward, bicep by the ear. Great. Release down and take it through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your left leg. Go ahead and bend through the knee and open up the hip. Maybe take some ankle circles on this side. Straighten out through the leg and go ahead and pull it forward. We'll come up into our high lunge on this side. Arms lift. We'll take our twist, left hand back, right hand extends forward. Look left. Big movement here as we move into warrior two. Right hand extends back, left hand forward. Spin your back foot down. Toes should be slightly turned in. Big bend through the front leg, knee stacked over ankle. Knee tracking toward the left side of your mat. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Left elbow on top of left knee. Right arm all the way up and overhead, bicep by the ear. Some release. And take it through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Great, yogis. Take a few breaths here in your down dog. And you can stay here, static in your down dog in stillness, or we'll take a few down dog twists here. So take your right hand and reach through to grab somewhere on your left leg, perhaps your left shin. And you can start to look under your left shoulder. Great, release, take it to the other side. Left hand grabs onto your right shin. Look under your right armpit. Release. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up. Keep it square this time. Exhale, pull the right leg through between your hands. We'll come up into high lunge. From here, bring your hands down to heart center. Big transition here. We're going to move into warrior three. So start to lean your torso forward. Bring the weight into that right foot as you start to hover the left leg off the mat and bring it all the way up. Trying to create one long line between the crown of our head to the tips of our left toes. Hip should remain neutral here. Careful for that left hip not to splay out to the side. Now slowly put a slight bend in your right knee as you try to bring your left leg all the way up and through. So we're standing on one leg with our left knee bent in toward our chest. From here, grab onto your left knee with your right hand. Open up into a side twist. Left arm extends back behind us. Maybe you want to play with a balance challenge and look back toward your left hand. Great, come back to center. Hands together at the heart. And we're going to move into a standing figure four here. So just like when we were seated stretching at the beginning of class, you want to bring your left ankle to the top of your right knee, thigh, and then start to gently sit back into your figure four. That left foot should still be flexed to protect your knee. Great, come back up to standing. Uncross the leg, and now we're going to take that standing leg all the way back through warrior three. So start to swing it back behind you, balancing on your right foot, and then gently set it down back into high lunge. Arms lift. And exhale, release down. Great job, yogis. Take it through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your left leg up. Bring the left foot between the hands, come up into your high lunge. Bring your hands down to heart center. We'll move through that warrior three sequence on this side now. So start to ground down through your left foot. Bring your torso forward as we transition into warrior three. Right leg lifts. Crown of the head reaching forward. Now slowly, gently bend through that left knee and bring your right foot, right leg all the way through till you're standing on your left foot, right knee lifted. Grab onto that right knee with your left hand and open up into a side twist from here, right arm back. Maybe start to look back toward that right hand. It's a tricky one. Inhale back to center. Hands come to heart center and start to cross your right ankle over the top of your left leg, figure 4. And once you're there, you can start to gently sit your hips back. Active through that right foot. Awesome. Release the foot back out in front of you. And we'll transition back through Warrior 3 into our high lunge on this side. So slowly start to kick the right foot back behind you, pausing in Warrior 3 before slowly releasing the right foot gently to the mat. Arms lift and release. Take it through your vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, upward facing or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wonderful, yogis. Let's take a few breaths here. Check in and see how your body's feeling. If you need to take a child's pose is welcome here. If you did take a child's pose, meet us back into down dog when you're ready. On your next inhale, lift your right leg, and exhale, bring it through between your hands. Come up into high lunge. Hands come together at the heart, and we'll move into twisted crescent from here. Up and over your left elbow hooks on the outside of your right leg. Look over your right shoulder. Come back up into high lunge. Spin the back heel down. We'll move back into our Warrior 2. Bend through that front knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Great, release, hands down, framing the front foot. We're going to come to flamingo at the top of our mat again. Left leg lifts. Squeeze it in for just a moment and go ahead and release it down next to your right. Now from here, we'll come back up into our chair pose, but bring your hands to heart center here. Now we'll move back into our chair pose twist. So when your knees are aligned and you can see your toes, bring your left elbow up and over and hook it on the outside of your right leg and look over your right shoulder. Now from here, we're going to move in to a leg lifted variation. So look down at your right leg, at your right foot, and start to really ground into that foot as you lift your left leg up into flamingo. You can always just stay in a regular chair for this entire sequence. Now from here, if you feel steady, start to extend that left leg out, straight behind you. Awesome. Start to slowly release that left leg down, and you're in your high lunge twist. Release the hands down. From here, we'll spin both feet to be parallel to the short edges of our mat. Walk your hands over to the left, and you're in a wide-legged forward fold. And just release here for a moment. Maybe interlace your hands behind your tailbone, straighten through the arms, and bring the arms up and overhead. Awesome. Release. Walk your hands back over to frame your front foot. Step back into plank and move through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, yogis. We'll move into that sequence on the other side, and then we'll start to slow things down a bit. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bring it through between your hands. Come up into high lunge. Hands to heart center. Bring your right elbow up and over to hook it on the top of your left leg. Crescent twist. Back to high lunge. Spin the back heel down, open up into warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, bicep by the ear. Release the hands back down, frame the front foot, and come up into your flamingo at the top of the mat. Again, squeeze the left foot in, right foot in for just a moment before placing it next to the left. And fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and bring them to heart center. Sit back into your chair. We'll move into our chair twist on this side. Bring your right elbow up and over to hook on the outside of your left knee. Now look down, make sure your knees are aligned. Look down at your left foot and really start to ground down through it. And if you moved into these twist leg lift variations on the other side, give it a go on this side by starting to slowly lift through your right foot, squeezing it into your quad, flamingo. Now fire up through your core and start to slowly extend, maybe, that right leg out behind you. Gently place that right leg, foot down to the mat, and you're in a twisted crescent. Release the hands down to the mat and start to walk them over to the right. We'll meet in our wide-legged forward fold on this side. Just stretch out through the hips. From here, we'll take a little twist as well. Ground down to your right hand and bring your left hand up to the sky. Exhale, release. Left hand to the center of the mat. Right hand up to the sky. And release. Start to walk your hands back to frame your front foot. Step back, move through your last vinyasa, or skip it and just meet us in down dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, yogis. Start to lower the knees. Bring the knees wide, toes come back to touch. Sit back into your child's pose for just a moment. Start to slow down the breath. Come back up to tabletop. And we're going to meet all the way back down on our backs. And on our way there, we'll take a little boat pose. So, sitting on your mat, inhale, start to lift your legs up. Your hands can come to the backs of your thighs for some support. Really lift through the chest and through the spine. Try to keep those straight and lifted as you extend your hands forward, perhaps. Some release. And go ahead and release all the way down to your back. Once there, we'll take our figure four legs one more time, this time with a twist. So cross your right ankle on the top of your left leg. You can stay here, or if you're feeling a bit more open after our practice today, you can start to draw your left leg in towards you, clasping your hands behind your thigh or in front of your shin. Keeping your right foot flexed the whole time. Now release your left foot down to the mat. Keep your legs exactly as they are, as you maybe shift your hips a bit over to the right and just let your legs fall over toward the left. So the sole of your right foot will come to the ground. And once you're here, you can start to just gently push, guide your right knee away from you. You should feel a nice little stretch through a different part of your hip here. Great, come back to center, release. We'll move into that on the other side. So go ahead and cross your left ankle on the top of your right leg. Stay here, or maybe bring your right knee in toward you and clasp your hands behind your thigh or in the front of your shin. Flex through the left foot. Really breathe into that hip. Release the right foot back down. Keep the legs as they are. Maybe shift the hips a bit over to the left this time as you let your legs gently fall over to the right. The sole of your left foot flat on the floor. Maybe start to gently guide your left knee further away from you. Come back to center. Release. Hug both knees in for just a moment. Reach through and grab the outsides of your feet and come into happy baby. Send the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling. Knees coming down towards your armpits. Maybe rock side to side. Maybe straight through one leg and then the other. Great, release. Give yourself one more squeeze. Maybe you tuck all the way up and in. Forehead comes to the tops of your knees. Grab onto opposite elbows. And release into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Straighten out through the legs. Relax through the feet. Arms come out wide, palms face up. Maybe close your eyes, maybe just have a soft gaze. Take up space. We'll take a few cleansing breaths together, inhaling through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Again, just like that, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Nothing to do but give yourself these next few moments of stillness. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as your day allows. If you're ready to return to your day, slowly start to invite some movement through your fingers and your toes. Maybe you circle through the wrists and ankles. Bring your hands overhead, stretch all the way through the tips of your toes, the tops of your fingers. And on an exhale, start to roll over to your right side, using your bicep as a pillow. The fetal position here symbolizes rebirth. Perhaps you ask yourself, with what energy would you like to return to the rest of your day? Start to push into your hands and come up to a comfortable seat. Hands together at the heart. I'd like to thank you for joining me for this practice today. Be well. Namaste.